Todd Blanche is a very, very good man, and he shouldn't be in the middle of this. He should get approved, because you will never get anybody like him. You're never going to get anybody. And to make him a pawn in this whole thing, this is being done by a senator, and I don't really blame him, to be honest with you. I endorsed his opponent, and as soon as I endorsed his opponent went through the roof, and he won the primary election in Texas for the Senate. And the man that lost, the man that I didn't endorse, has become very angry, and that's okay. I mean, I understand that. I probably would do the same thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. That was President Trump torching RINO John Cornyn for holding up his nomination, Todd Blanche, for U.S. Attorney General. And the reason why you are seeing this from John Cornyn is because President Trump did not endorse John Cornyn in his primary when he was running against Ken Paxton. And President Trump endorsed Ken Paxton. Instead, Ken Paxton went on to win. So John Cornyn is still salty about that move that President Trump made. And there's another RINO who is helping John Cornyn to hold up Todd Blanche's nomination. But let's take a look at this reporting, and then we'll continue with Trump continuing to torch these RINOs. Watch this.
Attorney General Todd Blanche's nomination is being held up by Republican Senators John Cornyn and Tom Tillis. They want written assurances that the DOJ's anti-weaponization fund and the Trump family's IRS settlement will not move forward. But President Trump is playing hardball, posting on Truth Social, quote, "I have no objection to temporarily withdrawing Todd's name if they do not do the right thing," and putting him back after Cornyn and Tillis are out of office.
So both of these senators that you're seeing holding up this nomination, Tom Tillis and John Cornyn, basically President Trump refused to endorse them because Tom Tillis ran to President Trump to beg for an endorsement, and President Trump said no. Then Tom Tillis decided that he's not going to seek a third term, and John Cornyn ran to President Trump to beg for an endorsement. President Trump said no, and then Ken Paxton beat John Cornyn. So both of these senators, they're about to be out of office in a few months, and they think that the best use of their time is to hold up a nomination. But what is weird about this is that John Cornyn thought that Todd Blanche was a good pick until he lost his primary. And here's President Trump continuing to torch John Cornyn. Watch this.
He's doing. Don't forget, Senator Cornyn thought he was phenomenal until he lost. You know, when he lost, is that a correct statement? You come from Texas. I mean, he thought this was the most incredible person. And then when he lost because of me. I endorsed somebody else. And as soon as I endorsed the other person became a rocket ship upward, and he lost. And, you know, I think I'd be the same.
But would you
I shouldn't say that, but I'd be upset also. And so I fully understand it. He shouldn't be that way. I shouldn't be that way. But he is that way. He's become a very angry person. And I understand. You have a couple of others that I've caused their defeat to, and you know, you'll probably hear from them too. Yeah.
It is weird how John Cornyn was for Todd Blanche, and as soon as he lost his primary, he's no longer supporting the nomination, even though they're giving a weaponization fund as a reason why they're not supporting him. But what's even weirder is that this was John Cornyn supporting Biden's DOJ pick. Watch this.
This morning, I had a very good conversation with Judge Merrick Garland, who President Biden has nominated for Attorney General. Judge Garland's extensive legal experience makes him well-suited to lead the Department of Justice, and I appreciated his commitment to keep politics out of the Justice Department. That is my number one criterion for who should be the next head of the Department of Justice as Attorney General. And I think both sides should support a depoliticized Justice Department, and that's what I hope Judge Garland, once confirmed, will deliver. I look forward to talking to him more during the confirmation process, but unless I hear something new, I expect to support his nomination before the full Senate.
That was John Cornyn supporting and endorsing Biden's pick for DOJ, who went on to target and prosecute a whole bunch of conservatives to include President Trump. And this is the reason why Texas fired John Cornyn. This is the reason why he's labeled as a RINO, because he supported Merrick Garland while holding up the nomination for Todd Blanche, which is just insane. And as I mentioned before, the reason that John Cornyn and Tom Tillis have been giving us as to why they're holding up this nomination is because of an anti-weaponization fund. And here we have President Trump speaking on exactly what this is.
Mr. President, you said this morning on Truth Social that victims of government abuse should be paid back.
Yeah.
Even if it's not the anti-weaponization fund, would you still want the acting attorney general to find a new way to do that?
Weaponization against large numbers of people in our country by the Biden administration and by Obama, but by the Biden administration in particular in this case. But large numbers of people, their lives have been ruined. They've been destroyed. Families have been, decimated. They've gone to prison for no reason whatsoever. There's never been a group of people, most likely, I can think of a couple that were treated pretty badly, groups, but there's essentially never been a group of people treated so badly as these people. And this fund was not for me. This fund was for those people that have been weaponized, that have been abused. Now, I was abused. They attacked my house in Mar-a-Lago, where I live, and big damages should have been given to me. I don't want anything. I'm not talking about myself. I think that there's a group of people in this country, history will show, that were treated like nobody else has ever been treated. So badly, so horribly. Their families have been ruined. Many, many suicides. They've committed suicide. People that were very successful that wanted to go to a rally or an event and ended up spending the rest of their lives in horror. No, so you can say what you want about the fund, and they've agreed to not have a fund. But there are a lot of people that are very upset about it. A lot of Republican people, a lot of Democrat people are very upset about it.
As you can see, President Trump and the administration has agreed that there will not be any anti-weaponization fund. But for some reason, you have these RINOs still holding up President Trump's nomination. And here we have Tom Tillis explaining why he's still making the move to hold up the nomination. Watch this.
My reaction is the president's getting bad advice. He should listen to Blanche and others who think if it's dead, it should be rendered completely dead.
What do you mean he's getting bad advice? This is the president making a decision.
Help to not do what Blanche said they were going to do. Whoever that person is giving the president bad advice. The only reason why we wouldn't move forward with this language is because that same advisor wants to bring it back to life at some point.
I'm saying the advisors, but it's the president.
You can draw that conclusion, Manu, and I can draw one that's got my eyes on the target.
So basically what I'm extrapolating here is that the administration agreed that there will not be an anti-weaponization fund. But for some reason, I guess Tom Tillis, they believe that how things are written, that they can revive it in the future. But the question that I have, what is so bad about having an anti-weaponization fund? That is a question for people who were prosecuted for their political beliefs.
A lot of people were covered. I wasn't covered by that fund. I don't want to be covered by the fund. I probably was abused more than anybody in the history of our country, but I wasn't looking for that. But there were a lot of people, and I'll tell you something, Todd Blanche is a very, very good man, and he shouldn't be in the middle of this. He should get approved, because you will never get anybody like him. You're never going to get anybody.
And that brings us to the end of this video. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below. Also, please consider liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.